We get a very interesting battle of mythological proportions and a mid-season finale that is certainly a hunt for the ages. That and more on today's episode of BrobusCast Death Battle Edition. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of BrobusCast. I'm your host Brobuscus. With me today is ZDogg.
I don't know if you could hear that, but I was trying to make predator noises.
Barely, but we got the picture.
Okay.
And Richard.
We gonna have us some fun tonight.
Sure.
Yes,
also
you are.
Predator reference.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Okay.
You son of a bitch! Another predator reference. Haha. We put references on top of your references in your references. Anyway.
Referenceception, apparently.
The CIA got you pushing too many pencils?
All right, that's enough. Okay. So we have a death battle to talk about, and it is a.
Yes, we do.
It sure is a death battle, all right.
It is. It is a good death battle. I reckon a very good death battle.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's Goku versus Hercules versus Wukong.
Goku versus Superman 0.5.
Yes. Sure, we'll go with that.
Yep. So... The first mythology battle, and it turned out good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we.
So looks like general consensus had the right idea.
Yes.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Sun Wukong pulled out victorious. Who would have guessed? Except for everybody, apparently. Although Herc had quite a bit going for him, so
Oh yeah.
He wasn't completely screwed. It's just that he was almost completely screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. They said they're gonna do a Q&A, but I don't know if they have yet. If they did, I missed it. But it was a little interesting to me that they didn't scale Herc to Zeus, since that was like a big argument for him during the waiting period.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well,
whatever.
My main guess is then if they did that, they probably would have had to scale Sun to the Buddha.
I don't know if that's. I mean, they probably just don't believe that he scales, which is just that simple.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, there's a pretty dang good reason why they didn't scale Sun to the Buddha, because that would have been very touchy territory. Yeah. So let's not
opening a very big can of worms that they really shouldn't.
Yeah. So let's not.
Okay, that's fair.
But no. I mean, yeah, they sold the result pretty good. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I definitely didn't expect the whole Sun lifting the infinite mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
Dear gosh. Okay. But yeah, it was explained well. So
yeah,
that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah, really. Also, man, shout out to Nick, because I know it's like, man, I know it's like the editing is really good, aka grass is green and water is wet. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But this episode in particular felt really impressive because, well, for one, there's a lot of images to go through, which, like as opposed to like visual media, And when there was visual media, it was mostly stuff from either The Rock or Donnie Yen. They kind of kept the whole namesakes and inspirations to a minimum.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for Herc's case, yes, they did, but for Sun's,
I mean, they do blatantly ask, "Can he beat Goku?"
they referenced Shonen like 3 times in Sun's analysis, and I think the first one was enough.
Also, for those wondering, yes, he can beat Goku.
Yes.
Unless,
Yes.
I don't know, multipliers. Multipliers be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of impressive that they made a pretty standard analysis out of mythos. It's like that feels kind of easy to just completely screw up, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, it's nothing absolutely noteworthy by other standards, but considering it's mythos, I think we can let that slide.
Agreed. Also, to what you said about the visionary inspirations, one thing I was a little disappointed about with this is just a nitpick, but I'm kind of disappointed we didn't get more footage of Monkey King or some of the Donnie Yen, Journey to the West adaptations, or even the Jackie Chan animated film, because this episode, like yesterday, was apparently Jackie Chan Day.
Oh, well, go figure.
Yeah, so it would have been cool if like maybe they did that, because they showed off the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Hercules clips like twice in his analysis. So, and if it just, to me, it's like, okay, if you actually want to see a Hollywood level production of Sun Wukong in his journeys, go watch the Donnie Yen film that's getting an English dub this year. Yeah. Or again, just go watch Monkey King. That works too.
Monkey Kid, you mean?
Monkey Kid, sorry. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine the reason they didn't show much of Monkey Kid was because it's not like I said, like they kept the whole namesakes and inspirations to a minimum because that's not what they're looking at.
Fair.
That's why we don't get as much of Disney Hercules, and we get like borderline nothing for Marvel Hercules.
Yeah.
But whatever. Still need to watch Monkey Kid. I've been meaning to, but I still never have.
It's good.
So I've heard.
Good.
So I've heard. Okay, fight time. This fight's good. I mean, I don't know how.
Good.
I mean, I don't know how much more I can really say on it. It's just, it's good. I like it. Me likes.
Yeah.
It's
I dig.
I think the word of the day, it's unique.
Yeah, it's unique.
Yeah. But unique in a good way.
Well, sure.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, right off the bat, it's a storybook animation.
Yeah, they tell it to be a scroll, which I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they really wanted to make sure that it was on a scroll, so that's why we don't have those very glorious Unreal backgrounds.
Yeah. Which I'm actually okay with that they didn't use the Unreal backgrounds.
Oh no,
because,
I'm totally fine with it too.
Yeah, it does, like, because I think that's the main thing, is the environment is, it's all a forest, but it's all one part of a scroll, and you get to see the squirrel, the scroll. Yeah, I know, I get them mixed up. You get to see the squirrel, scroll.
You get to see it unravel, I'm guessing is where you're going with this.
Yeah, thank you. I have
All right, yeah. I understand. Well, words are hard, but no, I do really like that they play with that
F you, English.
aesthetic. Having like having Sun or having Herc like literally launch Sun into it and then scroll it back. I love that so much.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes. Yes.
and then and also having it unroll whatever the force. So yeah, I really dig it. I hope if they do other mythology battles that they kind of, I mean, maybe not all of them, so like, because then it would probably just start to feel a bit samey, but like I do hope they bring back the scroll aesthetic when they do other mythology battles, if they do other mythology battles.
Yes, or
Yeah.
maybe have them be on a vase, you know, those vases that contain history.
Yeah, and then have it rotate and then show more of the fight. Oh, that would be a very large boss. That would have to be a very large one.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, I really do dig it, and yeah.
I think this may be just again, it's a bias thing, but I think this may be my favorite looking sprite fight we've had of the season. Not to say the other ones weren't bad, but it does kind of, Brobuscus did hit the nail on the head that even I forgot. It's like, it doesn't use Unreal backgrounds. It goes back to a more 2D looking background, and the environment is just something we've never had before. And there are also little details too, like every time Sun hits Hercules, you see ink, black ink that you would see somebody
which
on a
which is ripped straight out of Street Fighter, by the way.
Yes, I love that. Like black ink being drawn on paper. I love that.
Yeah, it's a really cool aesthetic.
Yes.
Also, I didn't notice it while watching the preview, but I noticed it while watching the full episode. They really go above and beyond to make sure that you know that it's on a scroll, because there's like scratch texture on the sprites. It's like a paper. There's like a paper-like texture on the sprites. So I think they didn't need to do that, but I'm glad they did.
But they didn't.
Wonderful details like that really make this animation stand out, and even the sprites themselves look pretty damn good.
Yeah. I don't know where Hercs come from. I'm sure they're based on something, but I couldn't tell. But regardless, they look good and the rigging is nice. Sun is straight up a reskinned Sun sprite from MVC2.
Yeah.
Which I mean that makes sense, because Sun is basically female Sun Wukong, but
that's genius.
That's nice stuff.
At that point though, I'm a touch surprised that they went ahead to give it a puppet animation, but whatever.
Yeah, no, exactly. Also, too, I love the use of how these two really are different in their fighting styles. Herc is more barbarian based, and Sun is more, trickster based. Like you get to see him use all of his transformations. You get to see him use the clones, the staff, the cloud. They really go all out with these two.
Yeah.
And
there's some really nice hand-drawn stuff here too.
Oh yeah, like that shot of when he hits Herc with the pole, and it looks like it's just gonna it's regular size, but then he expands it.
Yeah, makes it gigantic. It's so good.
That's a great hand-drawn shot.
And it even comes out of the scroll, like.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but I mean it does.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's mythology. I'm not going to ask questions.
Yes, and also to the ending climax where we actually see the god versions.
Oh, that was
the Ascended.
Cool.
Yeah, like
that was really cool.
You see the constellations in the background, which Luis paid heavy attention to, because again, he did actually put the actual mythology constellations on there. So that's awesome. And you see the god versions of Herc and Sun actually holding the scroll as their earthbound selves are fighting.
That was neat.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you that. It makes sense now.
Complete missed opportunity to not throw in the constellations from Chuck v. Segata and Randy v. Kool-Aid, but whatever.
I was gonna say, that may have broken the immersion.
I mean, probably, but it still would have been funny.
Yeah.
That would have. And also, too, I say it makes sense because now, whenever you see the scroll unravel, it now isn't just because the characters are interacting with it. It's also because the god versions of themselves are fighting over the pages.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Children. They're like children fighting over a drawing.
Yeah. Yes. Amazing.
And then the actual ending itself. Okay. I saw a bit of confusion, and I get it, but I'm gonna clear this up.
Yes.
The last shot before we return back to the scroll, I mean, okay, they definitely should have been a bit more clear on this, but that is Herc getting impaled by the pole.
Okay.
According to Lousy, it's supposed to be an impalation.
Gotcha. That makes more sense.
Which probably helps mitigate the narrator. Which, by the way, yeah, there's a narrator. We'll talk more about him later. But
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of helps. I hope that helps mitigate why they went with the whole the Monkey King emerged victorious line.
Yeah. It does really well.
I hope that clears stuff up just at least a little bit.
Maybe. So.
I mean, it's either. I mean, I feel like people are gonna complain either way because on one hand, it's just gonna be like, oh well, the narrator spoiled the result before Herc even dies, or alternatively, they could have been more clear on that shot.
Death Battle fans complaining since when? But, being completely unironically, I mean, on first viewing, I can see a bit of confusion because, when I first watched it with my friends, watched the reaction on Tank's channel, by the way.
Shameless
I was
plug.
I was a tad confused. I was a tad confused, what was in the background. I mean, I could vaguely see Sun, and then just the Monkey King. Oh, okay.
I just assumed that he hit him over the head so hard his head exploded. That's what I assumed. Brobuscus does bring up a good point. I feel like again, they were going too far with the style that they a nice little hand drawn shot, even if it would have just broken up the flow. I feel like having a shot of the pole coming down and stabbing Herc would have been a much better indication of what's going on and why Herc dies.
Maybe.
And I do get and I have seen other complaints too that say this kill shot is a bit anticlimactic.
I mean, I think it's really only anticlimactic because of the narrator.
Yeah, exactly. I do feel like the narration did it too soon. I feel like had the narration come after it, and it's okay, because again, it does feel like the narrator is too ahead of what's going on. So that was very distracting. But I would say that the build-up and the actual death was fine. I'm not expecting a gruesome death between two mythology figures.
That's probably
Sun.
Yeah. Considering they're both, well, more so Sun, but considering they're both religious figures, it's probably best that there isn't a lot of blood. The only blood we get in this entire episode is when Sun gets his head splattered.
Yes, and even then, it's like
one frame.
Yeah,
it's whatever.
Actually, I wouldn't thinking about it. It wouldn't have changed much, but actually, maybe if they replaced blood with more calligraphy, like a different color of calligraphy.
Yeah.
That maybe. I mean, I probably still would have gone over well. I don't know. Maybe something to think about for more mythology battles, though. So
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And then the only thing I can nitpick about that Gutslove brought up in her reaction is the three-headed Hydra Sun Wukong was a bit on the shorter side. It wasn't as big as it's supposed to be, but it was still
pretty big.
Yeah,
It was bigger than
yeah.
Hercules was.
Yeah, I know, but just I don't know, maybe a few more inches taller. I don't know. That is a nitpick, but either way,
Well, if you want
Also-
to get into nitpicky territory, why does the scroll not close at the end?
yeah, like that actually would have been even better. Like as the narration is done, have the scroll close, and then maybe have one final calligraphy spell out the N in the Chinese characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
because they were really
Yeah,
playing it up for that scroll to close, but it just doesn't.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
I
Like,
mean,
maybe
it is literally redundant, so I don't care that much. But like, still, it
Yeah,
would've been neat.
no, like maybe I wanted it to close in the at first, but then like conceptually, it would have been more animation they would have had to do just for a couple of seconds. So
Yeah,
I get it.
Again,
you know.
I really, really do not care. It's just something I
No.
thought I'd bring up.
Yeah, no. Also, too, something else we didn't mention, but the facial expressions for these sprites are very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Sun's having a good time.
Yeah, and Herc's reaction to I know this is best saved for voice acting, but just the sprite facial expression to Sun's Hydra form, it's so fucking good. I legit chuckled seeing it. But yeah, no. I know this is an interesting topic, but yeah, this animation isn't as fast blood paced as Vegeta or Thor, but I will
It also
say
doesn't
it's like
need to be.
no,
Exactly.
it's storytelling. Like it very much
It
continues.
literally.
Yeah,
Like,
no, literally.
We can say that for other fights, but this is literally a storytelling episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It is. It's very much that. It continues that steady story flow that Tanjiro versus Jonathan kind of started.
Yeah.
And I would say it's probably it's better than Tanjiro versus Jonathan, just because again, it literally feels like we're being told and shown a story being unfolded before our very eyes. But yeah, no. This is a great animation. Luis Ben even commented on his Twitter that he was very nervous about undertaking this, and
I mean, I can kind of see why.
yeah, it's very ambitious, and it's just like they've never done this before, and they've explored so many unique animation styles except this one.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only thing they can do now is just like I said, is just the next mythologies fight, have it be a Voss and have the Voss turn as the fight is happening.
Yeah.
Or maybe have an like if they do a Halloween themed episode, have it be shot in reduced screen resolution, like it's 4:3 and it's black and white, and you have that little film grain effect.
Maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool. Those are the next animation styles they need to try and dabble with.
Yes.
But I would say this animation paid off. And you know, it is. I'm so happy they went for the sun for this one. No pun intended. They aimed for the sun. And, yeah. I'm going for that old expression, but yeah, they did. They went around the sun and back. It's all good. I love it. I can't stop smiling when I watch this animation. It's so fun.
Yeah, you can tell like the people who were working on this had a lot of fun doing it, and it really shows. So
yeah,
that's good.
I mean, Lousy said that this is like probably the most fun he's had working on Death Metal ever.
That's good.
And this guy's been on since like, I mean, he was voluntary at the time, but this guy's been on since like season 2. I mean,
yeah.
So.
I mean, also, I know I'm jumping ahead of myself, but I mean, this fight landed like number 2 on trending. What the heck?
Yes. Yes.
What the heck of all fights?
You'll love to see it.
I mean, I'm I mean, I'm not complaining, but at the same time, literally how?
Yes, it's the
Um,
third fight this season to be on trending, and I think maybe the thumb. I don't want to make it seem like the thumbnail's doing all the work, but the thumbnail does kind of help because it's Dwayne The Rock
Maybe.
Johnson as
Maybe.
Hercules, and it's Donnie Yen as Sun Wukong. So you see that, and you're just like, whoa, what the hell? What is this? Um, and
How did this
also it
how
did.
did this fight land trending, and yet Omni-Man versus Homelander didn't, and that had like 3 million views within a day.
Yes, and this episode actually did go past 1.1 million views. So it's another winner.
Woohoo.
So yeah, but no. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. Like straight up, this is my personal favorite Sprite fight of the first half of season 9, and I think I've said it before. I have said it numerous times on our private Discord server, but this is a much better way to end the Sprite fights of the first half than Star versus Steven last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to that animation. I know they I mentioned the constraints and the obstacles they had at the time, but again, this feels like the last fight of the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess if we have nothing else to add, voice acting.
That's actually.
I'm gonna butcher this name. Blythe Malin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. As Hercules or Heracles. Sorry, I'm gonna call him Hercules because screw it. And then Alex Mai as Sun Wukong.
Yes,
Yep.
and
With-
we have a third actor.
Yeah, with special guest, Rooster Teeth's very own Christian Young as the narrator.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yes, we have narration in this episode.
And I know we were complaining about it before, but I have to stress that this narration is fan-freaking-tastic.
Yes,
Yeah. It's really good. It's a nice touch for this, especially.
It feels like the narration makes it feel like we're at a campfire, or
Yeah.
someone is getting a pop out book, and we're just intrigued. We're like, oh man, where's this going? Where's this going to go? Like fun narration.
I want this guy to do audiobooks.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of voice.
Yes. Oh my god. Again, barring the part where he does spoil the result, I really loved this narration. I thought it was great. It took me back again to those campfire style readings, and it was very fun.
Yeah. Completely honest, Christian's probably the highlight of this episode, which is really funny considering he doesn't even voice one of the characters.
Yeah.
No, but I would say a close second. Sorry if I'm jumping ahead. I would say a close second is Alex as Sun Wukong.
Yeah, probably, because he's just having a blast.
Yes, and fun fact: this isn't his first time voicing Sun Wukong. He actually did voice Sun Wukong, a different version of him in Smite.
Yeah.
Neat.
And also, too, I mentioned the last time that Sean Schimmel voiced his Sun Wukong in the Monkey Kid series. Well, turns out that wasn't even his first time. He also voices Sun Wukong in the Smite game as a different skin.
Neat.
Yes.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to be cursed with this type of hearing, so now you guys have to as well. Am I the only one who thinks that Alex sounds like Sun from Ruby?
I can kind of hear it. Although I have heard more comparisons to Beast Boy, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Like him sounding
like
like I can see the Ruby Sun inspiration as well, though. So I don't think it's bad. I like his voice.
Yeah.
Well, again, when I did listen to Alex's Sun Wukong, this isn't the voice he used for the Smite version.
After seeing after looking at what Sun looks like in the game, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So I don't know. He obviously went for the more trickster troll version of Sun. Which again, that is Sun Wukong. He is, a trickster. But yeah, no. At first, I did kind of hear Michael from Ruby, but then the more and more I listened to it, I'm like, okay, it's not so close to where it's like, oh, why didn't they just get Michael from Ruby? No, I really do feel like this is a
No,
great performance.
He's gotta wait for when that Sun gets in Death Battle.
Yeah.
Or when they finally like reach into the void and pull out that one DBX that they're probably never gonna do again.
Yeah. Also, too, I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I feel like Alex has more charisma in this than if you actually would have gotten Michael to do it, because
Maybe.
no joke, like, Brobuscus wasn't kidding. Alex's Sun Wukong performance in this, he legit is just having such a fucking ball. He cannot stop laughing, giggling. He's so charismatic. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And again, he has some good line delivery as well.
Behold,
it's
the
very
immortal Monkey King.
And then
Me, sorry.
Yeah, but then that's juxtaposed to the straight man, playing known.
Yeah,
as
notice how we haven't talked
Hercules.
about. Yeah, notice how we haven't talked about Hercules at all.
Yeah.
That's not to say he was bad, because he's not. In fact, I love his line after. It's like, multiple heads. Well, of course.
Yeah, that legit made me laugh.
So
like,
good.
holy crap!
Yeah. That's like one of my favorite parts of the fight.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah. He definitely nailed that brute sound Hercules has been known to have.
Yeah.
In his portrayal, barring the exception
also,
of the Disney version,
while also not sounding like a brick. Like he's not emotionless.
No, because again, he like that whole joke he makes, and then him proclaiming he's Hercules. He's not one dimensional.
Yeah.
And again, they do a
man.
good job of just. Yeah, exactly. They do a good job of showing his frustration with Sun, which is what I wanted. So
I'd be pretty frustrated too if I was in his shoes.
Yeah.
Because my gosh, I mean, like as a viewer, Sun's hilarious, but in that situation, I would find him so freaking annoying.
Yeah.
There's a reason why everybody in Chinese mythology hates this guy.
Yeah. Exactly. But he was fine. He was good. It's just when you have Sun Wukong and the narrator doing most of the heavy lifting, ironically for this episode, it just kind of feels like Hercules is just he's the middle guy. He's just there.
Now I just want Christian to voice a combatant. That's all I want now.
Yes.
If I get that, I'll die happy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will eventually. I don't know who.
Probably.
I did. It's just.
I mean, let's look at his other Rooster Teeth roles. He's Rhodes, because everybody knows who that is. And he's Agent Zero, because again, everybody knows who that is. Everybody watched RVB Zero, right? Right?
Sure.
Yeah. To be fair, Alex's Rooster Teeth performance is D. Does anybody remember D?
Barely.
There you go. The fact that you remember him at all is a miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that I remember him probably shows that I watched way too much of this freaking show.
It's all good.
But do I regret it? Absolutely not. All right, let's talk about this music real quick.
Okay, yeah, Hero's Journey by Airwolf Media.
Okay, first off, best album cover in this season, and that is not a contest.
No. Can I please push the cheerleader button for John?
I guess.
Okay. Like,
If
I'm
you
just gonna
have
keep it short and
to.
sweet. No, straight up. This is his best album cover to date. He went super fucking hard on this, and again, Luis did a great job at making the covers feel alive, whereas with John, he makes them so fascinating to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of details on it.
Yes, it is. It's very well done. If we were just to give an award for what's the best album cover,
best album cover, this would win it.
Yes.
Notice how we haven't talked about the actual music yet. That's because the music itself. Okay. By its own, on its own, it's boring. In the fight, it is wonderful.
Yeah.
It is kind of like dragons and dumplings in that way, I reckon.
I was just gonna say that.
It's dragons and dumplings. My example was Red Winter. That was what came to my head.
It sounds good. It's just I wouldn't be listening to it on its own. Unlike something like Princess of Pride, where
Even
the last track we had from Werewolf Media, with it's better than this. And again, that's because it was more techno, it was more electronic, it just fit the characters better. This does too, but it's like Brobuscus pretty much hit the nail on the head. If you want to enjoy this track, watch it. Watch the episode. Just watch the animation because it interacts with everything. It flows so well with what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't get enough of the ending with the music.
Yes.
It's like it's panning out, the narrator's wrapping things up, and the music is just
beautiful.
Yeah. So again, not bad. It's just it works better.
Just boring.
On
its own, it's just boring.
Exactly.
Yes. Also, I was just reminded of the narrator line. Hold on, I'm going to look this line up because I love it. I'm going to look through the Death Metal wiki. I'm going to try to find the line because it is glorious.
All right.
Okay. With a formidable foe slain, stricken against the mountain's breast, so ends our great tale of East and West.
Yeah. That's good.
I love it.
He's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that is the most surprising episode of Death Metal history.
And
it's
good.
My freaking goodness, this has opened the floodgates. Talk about the floodgates being open on this one. Oh my gosh. I just feel really bad for whoever's researching, because we're probably gonna get like Zeus versus Odin or something. And I feel so freaking bad for whoever has to research that one. Because like with this one, I mean, Herc has been around since for thousands of years, but at least his story is relatively straightforward and kind of has like a beginning and an end. With Zeus, you have to look through all of Greek myth, like that, because he's kind of involved in every single bit of it. So that's fun.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, but no, I mean, but for honestly a first mythology battle, that's good. I do hope. I mean, I do hope those floodgates are explored into and not left to dry.
They shouldn't stop at just this.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
I
dig it.
mean, I feel like that's a bit of a double-edged sword because on one hand, yeah, they should probably do more, but on the other hand, if they don't, then that just kind of shows how unique this is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they don't have to necessarily because I feel like aside from Zeus's fight, it doesn't get any bigger than East and West mythologies coming together and fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so now we just need Disney Hercules versus Disney Maui. Do it, cowards.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Or
even better, now we just need Goku versus Superman 3.
Oh dear.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay. Or now we just need Donnie Yen, Samu Khan versus Dwayne The Rock Johnson Hercules. Come on!
The rematch
Good
you
guy.
didn't want. Actually,
Yes.
I guess Goku vs Superman is the rematch you didn't want, but
but yeah, no, it is. I think the best way to sum up this fight is just sit down, watch it, and just try not to have a fucking smile on your face as you're seeing all the shit unfold.
Yeah.
It's a perfect story time episode.
yeah. I mean, okay, so I know this is considered by many to be their favorite of the season, and I can see why.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it personally, but that's besides the point. I mean, the fact that it has that claim by so many people is impressive. And again, it hitting number 2 on trending, like of all fights to hit number 2, or of all fights to hit trending at all, like it's this. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I think that's just a testament to how much. Because again, when people saw this, it was gonna be the next time, they legit all had the same reaction of, "I'm sorry, what? How? Excuse me?" And then you see the finished product, or Nani, and then you see the finished product, and it's something you've just never seen before. It's something you've never experienced with Death Battle before, and it does. It puts you. It again. I'll admit. It's not as blood-thumping or action-packed as Thor versus Vegeta. It's not as personally... There's no emotional stakes going on, like Magneto versus Tetsuo.
Tetsuo.
Yeah, versus Tetsuo. But it's fun. It's fun to watch, it's fun to listen to, and again... It's fun to learn about these two characters that have been around as long as the Earth before the 19th or 18th century, for God's sakes, before we were even conceived and born. So I attribute it to that, and again, that's why I am one of the few people who do place this as my favorite episode of the season so far, just because on that concept alone, that, okay... I was double entertained by this. Yeah, it's different. I was double entertained by this, and again, it got me exposed. It got me more than willing to want to immerse myself with Journey to the West and Sun Wukong, because I did. I watched Monkey Kid, first 2 seasons, even a little bit of the 3rd season. What? I didn't hear that.
That sounds problematic. Anyways.
Yeah, no. But I watched some of the... I watched the Donnie Yen live-action Journey to the West. I watched the Jackie Chan animated film. I even watched a great YouTube part series where they actually went into the book and they animated it to make it more visually appealing. So again, I really was so looking forward to this episode and wanting Sun to win because I like Sun, like his story. So yeah, that's why this is my personal favorite episode. It's just because it did what I wanted. It told a story, and literally, in fact, and it just made me smile. Like, it made me happy that I got to see it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Here's hoping they do it again in like 5 years. I don't know.
Or sooner.
Hopefully, yeah.
Just
So-
please. I mean, they did fine with this episode, but please actually don't use any like religious figures, please.
Yeah,
Please don't keep all
no,
those out of verses.
yeah,
Like,
no, that yeah, like, because I don't want to mention the person's name, but the fact that they brought up they brought up Jesus
Yeah.
as a potential.
Look,
No, just
look, I'm Christian. Please don't put Jesus in Death Battle.
same.
I'm
Please.
Catholic. Don't do that,
Please.
Yeah.
If they do that, they probably won't. But if they do that,
I mean,
I'm not watching it.
Okay.
Like,
Okay,
no.
come on. Okay, I have faith. I have faith in the crew.
well,
that
I
they would
do
not
too.
go
I
that
do
far.
too. But I'm just saying.
Understandable.
If they do it,
Sorry,
if they
go
do it, I'm not watching it. Like straight up.
Yeah,
Fair.
no, me neither. I'm sorry,
No.
I can't. No, but no, straight
Yeah.
up, unless it's the Jesus from that Family Guy trailer of yeah,
Stop.
the
No.
Passion to the Christ too. Jesus,
Honestly,
who
don't
uses
like.
God?
Honestly,
Like,
don't use honestly, don't use any biblical characters, please.
No, just don't,
Yeah,
I was
It's not worth it.
Like, even if they're 40, yeah.
No. I was just making a stupid joke, but no, for real, I do agree with these guys.
Yeah.
Just fictional characters are fine. They're enough. We do not need to use actual religious characters of any kind because you're really opening up a can of worms, and you're really gonna just piss off a lot. Like, Death Battle would lose 500,000 subs,
Probably.
maybe even half 2 million.
Probably.
Yeah, like, yeah. Just, yeah, don't do that.
Plus, plus the gut. Plus, you don't want you don't want that kind of attention. You don't.
I think I mean, we say all this, but I think I remember Speedy straight up said like the day Jesus gets in Death Battle is the day Death Battle ends.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, they're probably not doing it, but I'm just saying if they do, I'm skipping it in a heartbeat.
I can tell you.
That'll be my new that'll be my new Rainbow Dash versus Starscream. Like, it's just like,
okay, whoa, let's not go that far. Come on.
Like, that fight's my least favorite for like a very specific reason, but it's enough for me.
Okay, fair.
But if that ever happens, then it's like, yeah, okay. I haven't even watched. I'm not even watching this episode, and it is still dethroning Starscream versus Rainbow Dash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And again, please.
Yeah.
Even if you mean it for fun, please don't ever do that. I do. I saw that whole promotion. It's like, please don't ever think it's like, oh, who could this religious character fight? Nobody. Don't even put them. Why would you do that?
Don't even conceive of the idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that guy didn't mean any malicious intent, obviously.
Well, no, probably not. But,
no, but it's like,
but still, just
it's common sense.
Just
exactly.
don't.
Yeah, no. It's like, use common sense next time. Just whatever. Like, you can have that idea and keep it to yourself, but do not throw it out into the world, because the world will come knocking at your door and beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with more. I'm fine with more mythos. Like, bring in Zeus.
Yes.
Bring in Zeus. He'll be hell on earth to research, but do it.
Yeah, like do more mythology. Just don't go that far.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Religious figures, regardless of how you feel about religion, like, or what religion you follow, just don't.
No, leave it at the door. Leave it at the door. Just don't bring it inside the house. That's all. But
Exactly.
yeah,
or even better, just fling that idea into space and then destroy it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That was the thing. Again, I didn't want to make it a whole mini rant, but it's just like I saw that and I've seen some people bring it up. It's like, okay, they should and I know that was a big topic of discussion, and Ben even confirmed it on Death Battlecast. We are not using the religious interpretations of these characters. We're not going to step on anyone's toes. We are just using the methodical versions of them.
There's a red versus blue quote. I'm trying to find it. Keep talking. I'm trying to find it.
Well, I'm kind of running out of things to say because we got to transition over to the next one, and I'm trying to think of a transition.
Here, don't worry. We'll give you some space for a transition.
Heh.
Damn it, that's good. Took me a while to figure out what the hell is he about. Oh shit!
It's just like what are you talking about?
Okay. I might butcher this because I read faster than I think. But,
let's just take your idea, put it in a box, wrap that box in chains, then cover the whole thing with cement and throw it in the ocean.
There you go.
Genius.
There you
go. Okay, so we had
mid-season finale.
Mid-season finale. We had a more grounded episode that was very Earth-based. Now it's time to go to the stars.
Pretty much. And yeah,
Colin, is that you?
The hunt is on.
Yeah. Everyone pretty much figured this would happen. It's Boba Fett versus the Predator.
Oh my god! Really? Yep. I didn't know! I never would have figured this out. It's not like the signs were there. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I know the sarcasm machine is defensive.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, okay. Okay, on one hand, spare a thought for everyone who thought this was going to be Star Wars. I
can understand,
but also spare an even bigger thought for everyone who wanted it to be Predator versus the Arbiter.
Yes.
R.I.P. in peace, if you know what I mean.
Yes, press chat.
The episode will probably still happen anyway, but whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, give it a few years. They'll come back to it. How many times do I have to keep saying this? If Batman can come back for 4 fucking times, and nobody is off the table for a second time. Just saying.
True.
I guess Arbiter does have that one. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't remember it, but there's that one character from Mass Effect everybody requests for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want Arbiter in Death Battle because he's freaking cool.
He seems cool, but
But also, big special shout out to all 5 of you in the community who thought this was going to be Boba Fett versus Samus 3.
Ha!
What's wrong with you?
Just what? Okay. Because the logic was like, bringing back what Richard was saying, like, this is the show that brought Batman in 4 times. Like, okay, please just stop.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think we need to say this anymore. Please just stop.
Boba Fett has lost, will continue to lose, and will always lose if you put him up against Samus Aran. Please.
Anyways, usual Death Battle community rants aside,
yeah.
Boba Fett is back.
Boba Fett's back.
Yep.
Surprisingly, what the heck?
It makes sense. We're like, huh?
I mean, this has been a season so far of returning characters. So
We've had two.
Well, now Boba makes 3.
It's not exactly a season
also,
of returning characters if we have 3.
fair. That's fair. Again, brain fart. But yeah, no. Also, I'm counting this personally as Boba's second return to Death Battle. I do not count the remaster because it was just that. It was a remaster. It wasn't.
On one hand I get it, but on the other hand, it is like it does officially count. So,
okay. If we want to get technical, then yes, this would be his third time. But again, I choose to not count it. I do count the first episode in this episode.
The remaster is more or less the same episode. Hence why it's called remastered.
Yeah. But again, I attributed that to being a tribute to Death Battle's beginning, and of course, again, a tribute to the passing of one of the men who helped inspire it. Animation. Well,
rest in peace, Monty.
Yeah. Yes, rest in peace. A tribute to him and his Haloid series. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. Boba Fett's back, and also too.
And he's got
Predators
and Boba Fett's back after so many new appearances. Like this guy finally resurfaced in Disney canon. Good for him.
Yes. Yes, he has. Man, even got his own show.
Yes, he did. I watched it.
So did I. It was disappointing after 4 episodes because they promised me Boba Fett, and Boba Fett was only in it for 4 episodes, and then the rest, he was not.
Oops.
Well, I mean,
barring the season finale, so technically he was only in for 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy has a show named after him, and he spends almost 2 episodes not in it. Oops.
Yeah.
I still think it's fine.
Yeah, no.
I still like it. I enjoyed watching it. Not gonna lie, like
so did I. Again, those first 4 episodes, they were cool. They were. I didn't care. I did. I liked it. And also, Predator had a shitty movie, a shitty 4th film. And
which I have not seen yet.
I would not recommend it, but hey, watch it at your own pace.
I'm going to. Right? Like,
okay.
I'm probably going to. I have a 4-film collection. I'm going to take advantage of it.
Well, it's only worth watching 3 of them because 3 of them actually, do a good job. 2 of them actually do a good job of following up what the first film did. But anyway, that's beside the point. Also, too, Predator has a prequel film coming out this year on Hulu.
Yeah,
may or may not.
Which no one's going to watch.
Yeah, and also may or may not have ripped off a personal filmmaker friend of mine who actually made this concept a couple of years ago. So, yeah, where's the check, Disney?
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these 2 have new material.
Yep.
But also, it's been 11 years and we're finally getting the Predator. Hello?
I know, right?
and even more, we're technically getting our first horror rep. So.
That's true.
Horror movie rep.
Technically? I mean, Predator's more... Predator's more action-based,
movie.
Yeah, more. I would say the Predator franchise isn't horror-based as it is thriller-based, like action thriller.
Yeah, I guess thriller is the better word for it.
I've heard people say it's horror adjacent, so I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Predator is a scary monster, I'll give you that, but it's like...
technically,
he's not going around...
The Alien is more of a horror franchise than Predator is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. Oh well. Exactly. But still, that nobody should want to count that. That's also a bit groundbreaking. So.
Yes. And it is. It's awesome. So yeah, as a huge fan of the Predator, it's about fucking time.
Yeah, like how did it take this long?
I don't know.
Predator?
That's a good question.
I mean, I mean, I feel like he's been like requested a lot and is a long time coming. But
I mean, he landed himself a DBX, so
that is true. He did.
and it was a good one. Like
it was a good one.
It was an early DBX that actually managed to be good, which is impressive.
That's about a miracle, if I.
Given how season 1 is, that's honestly kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we got stuff to talk about with this one.
Yeah, because we know quite a bit going into it, apparently.
Yes.
Okay, first off, I want to lay down the rules. I know I should probably wait to do this until we get to the analysis, but screw you! Okay, so Boba Fett, pretty much the same Star Wars rules as before. Disney takes priority, but Legends is on the table. So they'll probably go more for Boba Fett being a crime lord than whatever he was in Legends.
Yeah, more or less, I can confirm that the Disney Marvel comics did still have him be the Boba Fett we knew from the expanded universe, but he was more consistent. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. And then for Predator, obviously the term the Predator is more for like a species rather than a singular character.
Yes.
So just for the sake of I don't
simplicity.
know. Yeah, simplicity. They're just using all of them.
Yep. They're basically using them as a species, not like one specific predator from any of the movies. They're basically compiling feeds from all the Predator films and whatnot. Material, yeah.
The blog put it best, like essentially using an apex predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, cool. So what do we think about these characters? Do we like them? Do we not like them? Is Boba Fett a character?
Ouch.
That must be it.
Well, I mean, okay, this is complicated with me and Boba Fett. It's just like Harley Quinn.
Boba Fett, not in the movies, is good.
No, I mean, okay, all right.
Inside material, I like him.
Yeah, okay.
Like
Backstory time. Yeah, backstory time. Short backstory time. George Lucas created Boba Fett to just be an advanced version of a stormtrooper, and there was supposed to be an army of Boba Fett. Yeah. There was supposed to be an army of Boba Fett's in the sequel, Empire, but they couldn't afford it, so they just had Boba Fett be his own character. And
he's a character?
Yeah. Yeah, they had him be his own person, essentially, and he just showed up, and they
in the movies. Boba Fett has the personality of a brick.
George stated that the influences for Boba Fett were based off of Clint Eastwood, which is why, I'm not kidding you, he added the spurs in Boba Fett's original costume, because again, to complete the whole cowboy sheriff aesthetic. And yeah, Boba Fett apparently was the coolest looking thing people had seen, so much so that he got his own action figure. That was super fucking rare. You couldn't even buy this thing.
I mean, the guy looks like an action figure, so
yeah. And then later on, yeah, he did. He was useless. He was literally he was there in the last two films. But then after the films, the side material, they did a good job of expanding him, making him a badass. The biggest thing he did was train Han Solo and Leia's daughter to defeat her twin's brother, who was the Lord of the Sith at the time. And then after
that makes sense.
Yeah, she wanted to go to him personally because she knew that, again, take this with a grain of salt, but apparently Boba Fett had experience in killing other Jedi, so he taught this Jedi how to fight more like him. And that's how that is. And then he came back in episode 2, although
As a kid, and he was annoying.
yeah, he was. And then he came back in Clone Wars. That same
As a
kid
kid,
actor
he was
reprised
annoying.
his role. Yeah. And then Boba Fett just kind of remained a badass in the side material in the comics. He did have his own game that was going to explain how he got the cosmic look that he got with his father's armor. It would essentially go into how he became the legend he was. But then it got canceled because Disney brought LucasArts. So it got axed. Actually, no, wait, correction. It got canceled before that because I think they just didn't want to make another Star Wars game because The Force Unleashed 2 was a bomb.
Also, because they have Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah, but this game would have been different. It would have been an RPG style. So it would have been interesting. But yeah. And then obviously, as we all know, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were like, "Hey, remember Boba Fett? And remember how we had? Yeah. It's like, yeah, those of you who read the comics, you know him. Okay, those of you who saw the films, okay, here we're gonna make him a badass." And it was like, holy shit, Boba Fett's fucking awesome. Oh yeah, you like that? We're gonna give him his own show. Oh, cool. We're only gonna focus on him for 5 episodes. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Boba Fett.
To be fair though, when he is the focus, he's really cool.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think we need to explain the backstory of him. You already know the backstory for him. He is a unaltered.
He's a clone of Jango Fett. The end.
Yeah, he is an unaltered clone of Jango Fett. He doesn't age rapidly like a regular clone. And yeah, so that's it. That's it. He took up his father's mantle, and he as he said in his reappearance, he was just a simple man making his way through the universe, like his father before him.
Here's Boba Fett's backstory. He was a clone of Jango Fett. Jango Fett got a bad case of decapitation, and Boba Fett was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be my father," and there you go. That's Boba Fett. Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah. No, sorry. Before that scene in The Mandalorian season 2, I was like everybody else. Boba Fett is the best looking toy Star Wars ever made, but he was never interesting, and the stuff that we got with him in the comics, they never brought that over to anything. Like, legit, it's almost as if Lucas didn't plan for that. It's almost as if he just made him because he was cool looking.
Nah. That doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, no, exactly, totally. So yeah, Boba Fett is a complicated person, and even right now, he's come under scrutiny. Fans are now pulling a 180 by saying, "Oh, we hate what you did to Boba Fett in his show. Why didn't you make him like how he used to be?" So you want him to be a one-dimensional brick who just goes around completing bounties, barely says a fucking word or shows any semblance of a personality. Okay.
Got it.
Star Wars fandom is their own worst enemy. That's the moral of this story.
Pretty much. I will admit, last year I did a binge watch of the Star Wars movies, mostly because I thought Rey was coming up. How naive of me.
It's okay.
But I got to I watched them in chronological order because I could. But I got to the original trilogy. I got to Boba Fett, and I'm like, this is the guy that everyone made a big freaking deal about. This guy is nothing. Like, he is literally not a character. This guy has the personality of a raisin. Like, this guy,
yeah, he
is not interesting.
He couldn't be more vanilla than anything. Like, he's like vanilla ice cream.
I guess his father had more personality than he did, and that's not saying much.
No, it's not. Even the clones had more person. Even the clones in the Clone Wars had more personality than him.
Okay, well, to be fair, they got an entire show for them.
That's true. Yes. But well, no. Even before that, even the clones, the ARC Trooper clones in the Genndy Tartakovsky micro Star Wars animated series that came out to hype up
Which I
Revenge of the
still
Sith.
haven't watched.
I would highly recommend it. Legit, you will just wonder why did we not get more like this? Like, if it's literally Samurai Jack in Star Wars.
I've seen bits of it. The scene with Ventress, the scenes with Ventress were like my go-to for a while when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But that was it. But anyways, I guess we gotta find something to keep talking about for Boba Fett while ZDogg remains in the void.
Yes. Well. Again.
Okay. I don't know how.
Okay, you go ahead.
I don't know how popular opinion this is, but I absolutely adore Boba Fett's new look. From like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, I love it.
Yes, very, very good. Very well polished. He looks so fucking good.
I also just kind of like say what you will about the show, but I kind of like the idea of Boba Fett being like, all right, my days as a bounty hunter are over because they just keep hiring me for jobs that are gonna get me killed. So instead, I'll just be the Kingpin, essentially. I like that.
Yes.
I think it's cool.
Yes, and he was rescued and redeemed by a group of Tusken Raiders. He made his own gaffy stick and became a member of the Tusken Raiders. Even his new look that we're talking about, like the clothes that he wears underneath it, they're his black Tusken Raider clothes that he was given before when he was redeemed.
Yeah.
So it's literally a branch of new and old, and it's so cool. Like I would agree. I concur that Book of Boba Mandalorian / Book of Boba Fett Boba is the best looking we've seen Boba Fett in a long, long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, and also too, they even to kind of have it come full circle, Django's actor / the original voice of the clones from 2 and 3 and Battlefront 1 and 2 is playing Boba Fett.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, and because again, he looks more like his father now than he ever has, which that was always the intent.
Well,
he is a clone.
Well, just minus the hair and add in the really messed up face.
Yes,
but I mean that's kind of what happens when you fall into a a sandy hole with teeth.
Yes. Also, ZDogg is back.
Yes, he is.
Sorry.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's cool. Don't worry about it. We can transition now. We can start talking about the cooler character with a better personality.
So we're absolutely talking about the guy from Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Obviously.
Okay. It's the Predator. Okay.
That's it. There you go. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, no, it is. It's the Predator. What more do you want? Okay, fine. You want to say more? Fine. The Predator is one of the most iconic monster designs of the 21st century. Like hands down. And fun fact. Okay, so this wasn't always supposed to be what he was going to look like. He was actually supposed to look more reptilian. More. He had an extended jawline.
Gross.
His eyes were freakish and misproportioned, and I'm trying to find the look. I should have had it prepared for me.
Please don't. I don't want to look at it.
Well, too bad to see it. Damn it. Because I can't just. I'm not good. Sometimes a picture says 1,000 words.
Right.
But yeah. So
well, I'm glad they didn't.
Thankfully, because they saw this design, they saw this design, and they were like, they had the suit made for it. There were two versions, a red one to make the camouflage. To do the camouflage trick because they didn't use CG back then because it never existed. So they
Right.
used a red suit and they used some camera trickery and rotoscoping trickery to make it look like it was camouflage. Here is his original
Oh,
design.
that is disgusting.
Yes, and as you can imagine, it was terrible for the actor, the stunt actor,
Oh.
to be in.
Yeah, no.
Yes, and they
No.
they
Oh,
saw
gosh.
this. Yes, and they were just like, "This is not good. This is terrible."
So what you're saying
So they
is
reached-
this is the Predator's version of Ugly Sonic.
Yes, this was ugly.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying is that in a future Predator movie, that Predator will come back to hunt the.
I'm saying in an alternate universe, this would have been the standard Predator look.
Gosh, I'm sending that movie picture to Disney later.
But now, it's obviously not because somebody on the crew reached out to Stan Winston. If you don't know who he is, he was the best creature designer of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And he also designed the look of the Terminator. So they reached out to him, and he came up with the modern Predator design that we see today. Yes, it is.
And also, he's voiced by Optimus Prime. I'm not kidding.
Okay, yes, no, I told Brobuscus this. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, this is a fun story. Peter Cullen at the time had just finished recording Monster Sounds because before he voiced Optimus Prime, he had to go to and doing monster sound effects to get a paycheck. So he had just finished voicing King Kong in a modern 80s adaptation. And he contracted what they called blood throat syndrome. Every time he would cough up blood, and he couldn't do monster sound effects. And he told his agent, "Do not get me monster roles." So his agent, being a dumbass, say, "Hey, they have this monster picture that they want you to do," and he drove down to Fox Studios and they told him, "We need you to make a sound for this creature," and he asked, "Well, what's the creature look like?" And they said, "We can't show you that, it's classified." And he's like, "Well, if I can't see him, then I have nothing to connect with." So they showed him a picture of the Predator when he had his faceplate on, and he still couldn't visualize what it was. So they just decided, okay, fine. So they take him into the back. They show him the end scene where the Predator takes off his visor, and you see his face. And the first thing that came to his mind was...
That disease of a face.
Yes, that disease of a face. The first thing that came to his mind was it reminded him of this upside-down shoe crab that he saw as a child, and he remembered it making these bubbling and cracking noises, and he could remember it. So he used that as inspiration to come up with the... And that's how he got the Predator noise. But at first, they couldn't hear him because the microphone wasn't close to him. So the director had to shout, "Move the mic down more! I can't hear him!"
That's funny.
And that's how he got the role.
Oh, cool.
Fun.
Yes. So, yeah, the Predator was saved by two people who made him the coolest fucking monster you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And one of them just so happened to be the voice of one of the most popular characters ever. Go figure.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so
if you've seen the Predator film, it's one of the most iconic 80s films of all time. Like, it's so good. It's crazy how well it holds up nearly close to 30 years later. It's literally back.
Yeah, I was surprised. I I was like, okay, this is an 80s film. It's probably going to be jank as all get out. And you'd think that, but you'd be mostly wrong.
Yes, no, it is. The casting is good. The writing is good. The everything about the movie is good. It literally doesn't. The Predator doesn't show up until maybe close to like
an
20
hour
minutes into the.
It felt like an hour into the movie.
Yeah, no, it just tricks you into thinking it's a standard action 80s film, but then you see the Predator and it's like, oh, holy shit, what is this? It's even the way they show you that this creature isn't human, but they really bank on you never seeing his face. Like, you just see the helmet, and when you finally do see his face, it's downright horrifying, iconic, and it's so good. And it was followed up by, in my opinion, two underrated sequels and a assload of awesome comic books by Dark Horse Comics. Like, seriously, the Dark Horse run of Predator is so good.
And then he made a guest appearance in Mortal Kombat.
Yes, he made the Predator is one of those crossover characters. He is crossed over with Batman, Superman, the Justice League, Archie from Archie Comics, Tarzan, the Lord of the Jungle. He is crossed over with Judge Dredd. He is crossed over with Mortal Kombat. And even in variant covers, when Disney purchased Fox, he crossed over with the Marvel characters.
Well, of course he did. Why not?
Yes. Although at this point in time, there still has not been an official Predator/Marvel crossover comic book. But hopefully that changes. Hopefully. And
I think it's got a crap ton of video games as well.
Yes.
One of which I've actually played, the new one.
Yes.
Predator Hunting Grounds. That's what it was.
Yes.
I actually played that.
I was
also pretty neat.
Sorry.
I played like one round and then trained as the Predator and stopped. But because as it turns out, when you get into it, when you're new at a game like that, you suck balls.
Also, too, Predator had his own third-person action game, Predator Concrete Jungle. Its name is similar to the sequel comic that came out in 1989, but it's not an adaptation. Basically, it was made for the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox. It essentially suffers from bad camera angle and jumping controls, but overall, it's a great fucking game. It's worth looking up. It's fun. The story is great. And all that. And I also forgot to mention...
If I can find it at a secondhand game store for like $5, I'll probably pick it up.
And I also forgot to mention one of Predator's most iconic crossovers is Alien vs. Predator, which launched a whole fucking franchise in the 90s before it got 2 crossover films.
Shock and surprise, neither of them, from what I've heard, are very good.
I mean, the first one is okay. It's decent. It tried, but the second one, let me just
Well,
the
second one, you can't see anything in the second one.
No.
All right, well, there's our obligatory there's our obligatory Requiem's Too Dark joke. All right, we can move on.
Yes. Well, that and the Predator only fights him maybe once, and he gets thrown out a window, and that's the fight.
So what you're saying is that it is false advertising.
Yes, for the most part. They barely interact with each other.
Fine. Okay. Meanwhile, I have only seen the first Predator, and I thought it was pretty neat. That's really about it. Like, I don't really have much of an opinion one way or the other. I thought it was a neat movie.
Thankfully, I did rewatch the first. I've rewatched the first film so many damn times over my lifetime. I have seen the second film, not as many times, but I did rewatch it, and the first one, and the third one, and the first Alien vs. Predator film. So they're fresh in my mind.
I haven't seen any of them, but like I haven't seen the full movies, but I've seen a lot of stuff relating to them, and it seems neat.
Yeah.
Like he seems like a very I like just I don't know, I like him in general. Like as a species, they're really cool. So that's about all I can say about it.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay, so production-wise, it's the triumphant return of the Blender team.
Yay!
Yay!
Surprise, surprise! The Blender team's doing a Star Wars fight. Oh my gosh!
What? No way!
Who could have saw this coming?
Whoa!
So I mean, spare thought to anyone who thought this was going to be live action, but I mean, if you're, I imagine it'd probably be a little tricky for this small indie Versus show to do a live action Predator, especially since they've done live action a grand total of twice.
Yeah. Although if you do want to see a live action Versus series that uses the Predator, look up Superpower Beatdown. They had Predator fight Wolverine. And fun fact about that one, if you're curious, they actually got the nephew of the original actor who portrayed the Predator in the first film and the second film.
You know, I should be surprised, but this is the same show that recurrently gets Jason David Frank. So, not too surprising.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it being a Blender fight. If anything, I think it could look cool because well, although we kind of have an idea of what model they're going to use for Boba Fett, they'll most likely use his Battlefront. Yeah, correction, his modern Battlefront.
Yeah, you know, the bad one. Yeah, we know, we got it.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And then Predator, I don't know, probably Hunting Ground or Mortal Kombat.
I think I actually think they might go with the Mortal Kombat one because the Hunting Ground one, it is kind of from a first-person perspective, and I think they would want to get as much movement with the thing.
I mean, not when you're playing as Predator.
Okay, that's fair.
But when you're playing as Predator, it's third person.
Oh, okay, cool.
But you know, from my experience, I played it once, but managing to get the Predator in Hunting Ground is like trying to get the Imposter in Among Us, which is to say, you don't.
Never.
Almost never.
So.
Yeah, that's fair, but I like the Mortal Kombat X model of the
Predator. It's neat. So yeah, they'll probably. My guess is they'll probably just use that.
Yeah. Also, too, I am expecting this to be a jungle environment.
Well, duh.
Yeah. No. Well, duh. But, because again, it's what Predator. It's essentially home.
Predator not in a jungle is that this is not a correct.
Well, this. What do you think this is? Predator 2, the movie, where they don't put him in a jungle. He's in a cityscape.
Fun. Anyways,
it's not that bad.
Okay. I will choose to believe you. Anyway. Yeah. So, honestly, I don't have much issue with this being a Blender fight. I don't care that much.
No, me neither. I mean,
like even Ultra has said, like this is the same team that pulled off like Harley versus Jinx was incredibly complicated. If they can pull that off, they'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And again, they've had a good track record with Star Wars fights. So
and fights in general, they've had 2 duds.
That's true. That's true. They've only had 2 duds, and they've had mostly hits. So we're in good hands, and I'm expecting this to kind of be a thriller and really play up that suspense aspect.
Also, this is Liam writes and directs for Death Battle Part 3 for the season. So
Well, I can tell that he's probably going to have a lot more fun.
Considering the other 2 parts are literal bangers, I have no doubt in my mind that this will be neat.
Me neither.
Really, my only question is, who are they going to get a voice actor for Boba Fett?
I mean, just because Boba Fett is a man of few words doesn't mean he doesn't speak at all.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, we're probably going to get that line from Predator. You know the one.
Oh yeah. I'm also
even if it doesn't F-bomb, I want it to say something like Star Wars equivalent, please.
Yeah, exactly. Or just maybe just have him say, "What the hell are you?"
Yeah.
Like, but either way, I'm also curious. Are they going to get somebody who can do the noises and maybe do the mimicry for Boba?
Probably not.
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't just reuse the sound clip if they're just going to mimic it.
Yeah. If they're just going to mimic it, why not just replay the line that Boba Fett says?
I mean, to be fair, in defense, why did they hire an actor to play Machamp when they could have just recycled Machamp dialogue?
Okay, I counterpoint. Why did they not get a voice actor for Link?
Shit. Okay. Link for the most part doesn't talk.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Plus, okay,
neither does
I
Predator.
know it doesn't. Well, okay, Predator actually can talk. He can form the Predator species can form sentences. They just need their helmets, or sometimes they just need their helmets in order to translate what other creatures are saying, so they can repeat it back to them in their own native language. Yeah. So again, Predators can talk and form sentences. In English.
Well, I don't know.
I just think that'd be a nice detail.
Yeah, they probably won't do it. It's probably not worth it. I mean, especially if Boba Fett's probably gonna get 5 lines in the entire episode. So
that's true. Just like he did in the original trilogy.
Yeah. So yeah, probably not worth it. And ZDogg has vanished into the void again. But my question is who? If they are gonna get a voice actor for Boba Fett, then who?
That's a good question.
I mean, not hard. He has a relatively simple voice, doesn't he?
I mean, yeah, he does.
Extent.
I mean, you can either get somebody who can do a good Tamora Morrison impersonation, or you can just get a standard gruff, tough guy to do the voice.
Yeah.
You could get Johnny Montegrano. You could get I don't know. You could you can get anybody, really, anybody who's been in the episode in episodes past.
Yeah, it's probably not that hard.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm trying to think of something else and I can't, so let's go to the debate.
Oh boy.
This is the fun.
You could say this is where the fun begins.
Oh yes.
Yep.
So Predator gets scrapped, doesn't he?
Well, okay. Initially, I thought yes, but
okay, yeah, I jest, but Predator's actually got quite a bit going for him. I was surprised.
Yeah. Straight up, this is closer than we all thought it would be.
I mean, okay, don't misunderstand. Boba Fett probably still wins.
More than likely, but don't count Predator out just yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you can mostly count him out. Just don't 100%.
Yeah. The main thing that surprised me is that I guess it kind of makes sense since they're using like all the predators, but it's like this guy has so many weapons. Like this guy's got I mean like obviously like claw. He's got the claws. He's got the shoulder cannon. He's got cloaking. He's got your usual stuff.
He's got a disc launcher that he can fire. He has a spear. He has miniature spears that fire out of his gauntlet. He has daggers. He also his main famous weapon is of course his iconic bomb, wristed plant, that when he activates it, it's kind of a if a predator has lost, they either, if they feel like they've got no way out, they use it as a way of committing suicide. And the blast radius is so powerful, it can take out a whole city. In the first film, it took out a whole rainforest, which is the equivalent of a city.
Yeah.
So he's packing a lot.
Yeah.
And then you got Boba Fett, who of course has his standard EE3 carbine rifle. He has his jetpack, which houses a missile and a flamethrower, if you can believe that. He has wrist gauntlets that fire whipcords, different types of darts, sleeping, poisonous. He, of course, has thermal detonators, sound disruption devices. He carries other stuff on him, and famously, he wears his father's Mandalorian armor, which was originally a type of alloy that was barely resistant to blasters and could not tank hits from a lightsaber, as Jango's death proves. But he would upgrade it slightly to where it would be completely blaster-proof, and it could take a hit from a lightsaber. But then finally, later on, he would upgrade it to Mandalorian Iron or Beskar. And if you've watched Mandalorian, the Mandalorian, you know that Beskar is 100% indestructible, unless you have other Beskar that can pierce it. So yes, his helmet also has a breathing apparatus, and it has a tracking system, motion and sound wise, and it can see infrared and microscopic vision. So Boba Fett 2 is packing quite a lot.
Also, this guy's got dart launchers in his knees. Because why
not?
Yes,
he also has knee rockets.
Because why the heck not?
Hey, whenever you don't have a gun and you don't feel like doing fisticuffs, hey, go for knee rockets.
Sure.
It's just like Astro Boy's butt gun. It's the last thing you would expect.
Okay, so one of the big things that people were arguing for Boba Fett is that Predator has cloaking, but Boba Fett has the infrared vision that Richard mentioned before. So it's like, oh well, can Boba Fett track the Predator? Well, actually no, because turns out the Predator's cloaking, or at least like Predator has some ways around cloak detectors. Yeah, Predator is definitely gonna have a better time sneaking around Boba Fett than the other way around.
Yes, although just because he is invisible to Boba Fett's cloaking in terms of Boba Fett seeing his heat signature, that doesn't mean that Boba Fett's other methods, like his motion tracker or his sound detector in his helmet, won't be able to pick him up.
That's true, but also Predator has missiles that can that are basically EMPs.
Yes.
So that's a lot of Boba Fett's electrical equipment out of commission, which is basically 99% of the stuff in his helmet.
Yes. This is true.
So that gets rid of like tracking, detection, targeting. Targeting is going to be big because
yes, his little visor, his little L visor that is at the end of his helmet, that he can actually flip it down and use it as a manual targeting system.
Yeah, but if Predator shuts down electrical stuff, then that's that out of the question too.
Yes, it is. Although I would argue that when he pulled it down in Mando, it didn't look like it was connected to the helmet itself. It looked like he was seeing it out of the helmet. So who's to say?
I mean,
really,
sure, but I feel like that thing is like an enhanced tracker in and of itself. Boba Fett was just looking through it with the helmet.
That's fair, yeah. But you are right that that is one of the things that Boba can't counter. But everything else, like both their weapons, surprisingly, they're long range weapons, they're close range weapons, they do kind of counter each other.
Yeah. Really the big thing though is that Boba Fett's weapons can go toe to toe with Jedi. And I think the last two Star Wars fights can kind of show you that that's kind of busted.
Yeah, you don't mess with Jedi.
No. Yes. Boba Fett has gone toe to toe with Jedi like Luke Skywalker and famously Darth Vader, and he has survived those encounters. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Technically, when he fought Luke the first time that he met him on Tatooine, he was able to trap him and ensnare him, but Luke was able to get around it, and he was famously disabled by a blind guy who just hit his jetpack, and then boom, he goes flying in the air. So okay, I'll get to that later. But yeah, so anyway, Boba has faced opponents that are equal to Predator, like one of them being the bounty hunter Bossk. It turns out he bested and beat Bossk, who is a lizard man.
He also dueled Cad Bane to a standstill.
Yes, they both of them were the best shots in the galaxy, and both of them had a Western style shoot down where it's a quick draw on who can shoot the other faster. Both of them pulled out their guns at the same time, shot each other. Both were tied and survived.
Yeah.
Although famously, I would be remiss if I mentioned, even at Boba's old age, in the book of Boba Fett, he still had a hard time contending with a 70-year-old Cad Bane, who was able to mop the floor with him until Boba was able to use, again, this is important later, but Boba was able to use trickery in order to get around it.
Yeah. Which, as a side note, it was super hyped seeing Cad Bane again. That was cool.
It was nice. Yes, it was.
Anyways, tiny little giddiness aside. Yeah, it's really just but they seem relatively even when it comes to like versatility. Predator is also, since it's all the Predators, he's definitely more experienced.
Yeah, in combat, this is where the Predator does kind of take a slight advantage.
Yeah. Really, it's just Boba Fett is stronger and faster, and tougher, and that's really it.
Yes, and here's the thing. Okay, so I know a lot of people have been hyping up the Predator. I know the lads, they said they went with Predator, but I feel like what's kind of being underestimated is, okay, let's not kid ourselves here. Boba Fett survived being in the fucking Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, that thing is no joke.
Multiple times. No, like again, the whole point of the Starlack pick at the end of I was about to say Revenge of the Jedi because that was its original title, but in Return of the Jedi, it was stated that if you go into the Sarlacc, you will be digested and imprisoned for 1,000 years until the acid in that thing fully eats you. So you're essentially stuck in a stasis where you can barely move and you're slowly just going to be eaten away one at a time. And Boba
just said, yeah, no, screw that, and busted his way out. Or blew himself up, depending on what continuity you pay attention to.
Yeah, exactly. Point is, he found a way out of it, and he even managed to survive the effects of the the Sarlacc pit. Because again, it's not enough that you can just get out of a Sarlacc pit. That the acid and the dangerous stuff inside that thing could kill a normal man. Even if you do get out, you're gonna die because you barely have any will to live or strength left. Whereas Boba Fett just said no. He was motivated sheerly by willpower to get out of it. So he's not just going to go down after one hit. He will keep going.
Yeah. Plus, I mentioned Boba's faster. Boba and other like non-Force users have kept up with Jedi in speed, and we've gone over that Jedi have a pretty consistent track record of reacting within nanoseconds.
Yes,
which is faster than light. Now, I'd argue, at least on ground, because obviously Boba Fett has a jetpack, but Predator is probably more mobile, I guess. More maneuverable, again, on the ground. Because that armor that Boba Fett wears, it's really helpful and it's really tough, but it's also really freaking heavy. So he's not very mobile. But then you throw in a jetpack and it's like, oh well, okay. Although the jetpack does have limited fuel. It can only last for like a minute or something. I would ask for confirmation on that, but Richard is in the void. So yeah, it's kind of interesting because like usually like when you have a character that's like, okay, yeah, this person's probably going to win, they usually have more advantages than just, you know, being stronger and faster and all of that.
Yeah,
they're more than just stats. But Boba Fett doesn't.
He's strong, he's real shrunk and real fast. Better than Predator.
Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah.
That's really it, but it's enough.
Yeah. Also would like to mention, I know I haven't contributed a lot, I know Richard probably will, but I want to say it. The whole, well, I'm sure Boba Fett would be able to survive the nuke anyway.
Yeah, so, probably.
The suicide nuke. Mentioned that Predator has a explosive in himself, or like that he can blow himself up and take his opponent with you. Well, the problem is, if you're going to use that as a winning argument, not only is he probably strong enough to survive, that actually kills him.
Or fast enough to avoid.
Or fast enough to avoid. Yeah, but no, that makes him instant dead. It's not like something like my guy with the 8th gate, or like, oh yeah, he killed all my, he's dead. But no, it takes him out alongside, and the fact it takes him out first. So
yes. Another thing that I wanted. Sorry if I'm interrupting. I'm going to take care of personal stuff, but I wanted to also bring up, because they did bring this up in the Death Battle cast when they did Mando versus Boba. Boba has a lot more maneuverability than, say, Mando, because Mando is mostly covered in head to toe in Beskar, whereas Boba, he does have more leg maneuverability.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, because again, Boba values maneuverability and over, staying grounded. So that does help his case. Even if his jetpack is lost, he's going to be very hard to keep up with. in a fight. And
Still,
another
that suit
thing,
is
too, that
clunky.
it is clunky, yes. Again, if the Predator is smart enough, which I have no doubt it is, it
Probably.
could find the exposed weak points. Because just because Boba is covered in Beskar, that doesn't mean his body is completely invaluable, because only his head and torso are covered in stuff, whereas everything else is completely exposed. So if he were to just say stab him in the knee or maybe shoot off an arm, he would have no problem doing that. But again, that's assuming that if we are taking the scaling into account, then it would be very difficult for the Predator to hit him.
Yeah.
I mean, to find a vital weak spot in that. And yeah, ZDogg did mention that Boba's the Predator's bomb, like I said, it is city level. It's confirmed to be able to take out a city. And I know people were. I did see someone say, "Oh, well, they're probably going to cover this," and that's in the Concrete Jungle game, where a Predator sets off the bomb inside his ship, and it blows up all of New York City, and he's alive. But something Brobuscus reminded me is he was not at the epicenter of that explosion. He was away from it.
Yeah, a little bit
so
of a little pro tip. Explosions get way weaker the farther out you get from the epicenter. So
yeah,
that needs to be taken into account as well.
Yeah, so this doesn't confirm that Predator is city level and he can survive his own bomb, because there have been multiple times in the films, in the comics, whenever a Predator detonates their bomb wrist link, it will kill them. Yeah, it's literally their version of committing seppuku, suicide.
Yeah.
Taking whoever they're fighting with them.
I guess it is interesting because like it probably should be brought up. Like, okay, say the bomb does go off and Boba Fett is caught inside. Now I don't know if Boba Fett is tough enough to take the hit, but let's assume he's not.
I mean, like I said, this is what I said before. It literally kills him. So
yeah, but I don't know, cause it's his move. Like, it's still him killing Boba Fett. Sure, he kills himself too, but I don't know. I guess it's
it's a technical knockout. It would kind of be a technical knockout, but even then, it would kind of be a draw.
Yeah, but they're not doing. Yeah, but they're not. They wouldn't declare that a draw.
No, they have to declare a winner. I do agree with Brobuscus. He brought this up off recording. That say if the Predator damages the jetpack, because the jetpack is the obvious weakness to get rid of his flight.
Yeah,
and it's not like it'd be hard.
Fets have a really crappy track record with their jetpacks because they break all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't help that they're cheap. They're not cheap, but it's like one hit from one, like Django's jetpack. He got tossed around by a beast in the Geonosian arena, and it somehow damaged the jetpack, so he couldn't fly out to escape. And then again with Boba, his jetpack got hit by a gaffy stick. He went into the Sarlacc pit and couldn't steer himself. Which the Mandalorian, by the way, future reference, if Mando ever gets in Death Battle, he automatically avoids this pitfall because his jetpack is made out of Beskar, from what it looks like. So yeah, good luck damaging that fucking thing. But yeah, so again, say Boba doesn't have a way to get out of there. Well, see, that's the thing. He's not exactly trapped, because we have seen instances numerous times where somebody has survived the bomb or found a way to get rid of it. You know, Dutch from the first movie, all he did was just run really fast, duck under a tree, and he was fine. He did come out with radiation sickness that was eventually cured because the bomb disperses high levels of radiation. But other than that, he was fine.
Didn't he even turn into a cyborg?
Yes, yes, he would receive enhancements that would make him superhuman. But
Neat.
no, he didn't.
As if Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger needs any more superhuman.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, no, exactly. And in Predator 2, when Danny Glover was fighting a Predator, and they were hanging off a ledge, Predator just decided, okay, fuck this, I'm taking you with me, activates the bomb, and just when it's about to hit the 1 countdown mark, Danny Glover takes one of the Predator's weapons that's hanging on the side of the building, and he cuts the arm of the Predator off, and that disrupts the countdown. So
Whoops.
there are ways for Boba to get around it.
Yeah, but you know that he's not going to.
Yeah, no, and the best example of how durable Beskar is in an explosion is the season 1 finale of Mandalorian when Mando is at the epicenter. He's point blank in an epicenter of a small explosion from a turret blaster. The fuel cells get shot, and he gets sent flying from the explosion, and it does wound him to where he almost does die. But
Wound
the
him.
Beskar
He got
itself,
messed up.
yeah,
His armor,
yeah,
his armor was left without a scratch, but he himself got screwed up.
yeah, exactly. So that if he could get messed up from that, then there is evidence to suggest that maybe Boba could get immediately killed from the bomb. But again, since the bomb doesn't just kill you, it leaves behind small traces of radiation, there is a chance he could survive. Because again, Beskar is a metal lead material.
Mhm.
So, and he did survive, and it did hold up very well when he was inside the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is where the debate gets interesting, because we know that Predator has to use the bomb. It is his final trump card.
Yeah, and there's no way they're gonna pull like, oh, you can just shoot off the bomb, or oh, he can just like they're gonna have that bomb go off. Like it's too it's too iconic not to.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they could pull a RoboCop versus Terminator, where they could say, "Oh, well, Boba Fett will probably strap his jetpack to the Predator, and that'll send him flying enough to where he can get out of there and escape the bomb or blast radius."
Yeah. But I guess I just want to ask real quick, like, okay, going back to the bomb, like if let's say the bomb goes off, Boba Fett's inside, and he dies. But obviously, like, both of them are dead. Who do you declare the winner? Who do you think would be declared the winner in that sense?
Well, I would, if again, ZDogg pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, okay, if you want to pull a technicality, then okay, technically Predator won because it's his weapon that killed Boba Fett.
Yeah, but like he dies in the process. So
yeah,
I don't know. It just hitting the window Predator that wouldn't make much sense to me.
No, it would feel very. You want to talk about anticlimactic? This would feel anticlimactic to have it end in a TKO of sorts. I don't know. I mean, I can see scenarios where Boba does survive this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna go for Boba Fett. Like, I mentioned this before, like when this was still a relatively new announced. I mean, I'd say that we're recording this pretty early on. Like I was like, okay, so Boba Fett more than most likely wins unless, because Predator, I mean, the movies have been featured well enough, I would say, but stuff like the comics and the games haven't.
I mean, well, okay. Actually, the Predator comics have blown up in the past. They were the one thing keeping the Predator relevant in the 90s because Fox was like, oh, these comics are selling very well. We need to market this shit. You know, make toys, make video games and all that. But I mean,
well, basically my point was like, okay, Boba Fett more than most likely wins unless there's something from like the comics or the games that no one's found, which wouldn't surprise me. And it turns out, I mean, I don't know if it's enough, but there are stuff from the comics and the games that do make me raise an eyebrow. I'm still going for Boba Fett, but I wouldn't. I'm not going to count the Predator short just yet.
Yeah, no. I mean, I just have to make this apparent, and I really feel like this is a deciding factor. This could be an advantage in Boba's favor, is that when the Yacht clan, the Predators, fight an enemy that they encounter, they try and do it as honorable as possible because they're hunters. They want it to be a good hunt. They're doing this for the thrill of the game. And they try, even when they have to fight you, they give you a fighting chance. In almost every encounter. If you understand the rules and if you know how to get around them, then they're severely caught off guard. This has led to their defeats multiple times. Like, again, with Dutch in the first movie, after he understood and saw the Predator in action, he was able to figure out how to camouflage himself. He was able to figure out, okay, I need to keep this thing at a distance and lure it somewhere to where I can kill it. He does that, makes the Predator think that he found him out, and he tricks him.
Whoops. But okay. So yeah.
Sorry. I'm back.
Yeah. Okay.
So okay. Yeah. No. And again, this is how people like Batman were able to figure out when Batman fought the Predator. When he got out of their first encounter, he figured out a way to get around two and trap it. And by the end, he was able. This is another thing too that I should have brought up. Okay, so Batman's way of incapacitating the Predator until he beat him in a fight was he shot the Predator with elephant tranquilizers, and it worked on the Predator because he tested it. He tested the tranquilizers with a sample of blood that he picked up from the Predator. So Boba Fett does carry tranquilizers on him, so he could theoretically get through to the Predator that way to, kind of slow him down. And it's not like the Predator is protected from it. He doesn't wear that much armor. So yeah, Predator's overconfidence is his honor-bound code to make it as much of a fair fight as possible that can be taken advantage of. And Boba Fett isn't exactly an honorable fighter. He will fight dirty, and Predators really don't have an answer to that because again, they just feel like, okay, I'm gonna give you a fair fight. Let's see what you got. And yeah, same thing with the other protagonists. So that is a big contributing factor. Can Boba Fett exploit that? And
we'll see.
Use some. Yeah, we shall. So yeah, I'm going for Boba.
Same.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep, all in Boba. Well, maybe not all in, but yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be
I
kind
can
of.
see.
I guess it'd be kind of.
Arguments for it.
I guess it'd be kind of fun if Boba Fett won because he's had two other fights where he gets trashed.
Yeah. And again, I feel like, okay, if we have to go through this more times than not, I feel like Boba does have advantages that give him the win.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, it's more or less, it's two bounty hunters that go by a different code. Boba Fett will use whatever method he needs to get the job done, whereas the Predator he will only use one method, and that's the method that he and his clan were born and raised to use. So, and I'm not saying Boba Fett is flawless, because again,
He's definitely not.
No, if this were if you just put these two in a straight up fist fight, Boba Fett would get his ass kicked because again, the Predators are. I don't know how their age range works, but they do have more experience in hand-to-hand combat. Yes, Boba Fett was taught by his father, who was a great martial artist in his own right. But let's be real, if you really want to go through it, when he fought Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi Knight, he barely managed to get out of that fight with his life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and of course, too, Boba's exposed areas will leave him open for a Predator to go for a fatal wound if he's not careful enough. So, yeah, I think Brobuscus hit the nail on the head. This is going to come down to who is stronger, who is faster, who is durable. And in most of those scenarios, Boba Fett kind of checks all the boxes.
Pretty much.
Ding, ding, ding. And like, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if they managed to say Predator wins necessarily, but like,
it's like,
I don't
come
know.
on. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like one of the, like, I'm not, like, I am siding with Fett, but like, I'm keeping my mind open for the chance
same.
of the Predator.
I mean, if we're
like
wrong,
in Death Battle, anything's possible. I think multiple episodes have shown us that. So we'll see. But it seems the stacks are in Fett's ring. So
yeah,
however that saying goes.
Yeah, it is. It's like, if we're wrong, we're wrong. Our streak, our streak ends. We and yeah, the lads get to say, "Ha, we were right."
Oh well.
Yeah, well, the lads can say whatever the heck they want because we're not competing yet. Foreshadowing. Anyways,
Yeah. All right. So, do you guys? Would you guys like to do that one bonus topic I talked about?
If we can make it quick, then sure.
Well, okay. I think we can make it relatively quick. So, as you know, this is the mid-season finale. I think, more than likely. If not, well, we're still doing this anyway.
Yeah, it is.
So, by the standards of the last two seasons, that means that we're gonna be going to DBX next, probably, more than likely. Gosh, maybe. I hope so. I don't like.
Maybe I'm not. I'm not sure.
I don't. Well, we're still doing this anyway. Screw off. So, as has been shown, Death Battle is more than happy to upgrade a DBX matchup to an official Death Battle episode, and I want to talk about some episodes on DBX that we want to get upgraded, basically.
Okay, well, I need to pull up the list real quick then.
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah. Or I mean, I don't know if we want to do this, or vice versa. We could also do DBXs that could be, or Death Battle, fights that were Death Battles that could be also done as DBXs. Like the opposite. I don't care.
There we go. Trying to pull up the DBX wiki because that exists.
True. Well, I don't know if you guys have one in mind already, but
oh, the one that I had made a thumbnail for literally just 2 days ago. Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking through. I'm kind of scrolling through each season.
Understandable.
Well, season 1 only has one that I would be interested in, and that one already happened. So next.
Whoops.
I guess a Greninja versus Espio would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I do have a preferred fight for Greninja nowadays, but like, I still like this. It's still a cool idea. I would be down to see it get upgraded to the full DB. So
I might get hounded for this, but Genji versus Raiden would be really cool. It's a massive, super massive freaking curb stomp, but it'd still be fun. It also brings Raiden back, and he's one of my favorite characters ever. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't care who won the. I know Raiden won the DBX for Genji. Greninja won against SBO in that DBX. Yeah. I've heard conflicting things about that nowadays.
If SBO scales to Sonic in any way, he wins. I feel.
Okay.
I would like to see it. It's kind of a two-way tie, but I would like to see Yang versus Bakugo. Yeah, surprise, a Ruby matchup. But yeah, exactly. And it would be cool if they did this. But I would love to see them do Donald Duck versus Daffy Duck.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
I would love for them to do that. Like the DBX is really solid, but like I would be down for it to get a full episode treatment.
Yeah.
Just please don't do Gogeta versus Vegito or Naruto versus Ryu.
I think Naruto versus Ryu would actually be kind of fun. The DBX was boring, but but I feel like you could get quite a bit out of a death battle. Especially since it's surprisingly. I mean, I haven't kept up with Ninja Gaiden stats, but from last I checked, it's surprisingly close.
Yeah, that's like. Yeah, I've heard it's debatably close. So
yeah,
depending on what you believe for Ryu, anyway.
Also, honorable mention. Do fucking Cuphead versus Bendy. God dang it!
I was actually gonna say that. Like, yes. Like that's probably the one I'd pick the most. Like I really want to see both. I mean, I at least really want to see Cuphead on the show, and considering how good that DBX, I'd be down for it to go on upgrade.
Yeah, but the thing is, how are they going to upgrade from the DBX?
That's going to be very hard. They just do it hand drawn.
They did it in hand. The DBX was hand drawn.
But do it again in hand drawn. That's what I'm saying.
They do it the same, but better.
Yeah.
So I mean,
okay. Again, I'm just going through. I'm just going through each season. I'm just gonna list whatever ones. I don't have like a specific one, but I'm just gonna list whatever ones I think sound cool. Yes.
One more. Okay, it was Luis's debut episode, so please do it. Ronald McDonald versus Colonel Sanders.
Gosh. Yeah, sure. That one also sounds interesting. Gosh. All right.
Okay.
Honestly, just hearing them analyze Ronald and Colonel. I mean, I don't know if they would give him like the Colonel everything, but like, dear gosh, I know.
Oh, if they give him his Green Lantern ring, it's over.
The Green Lantern ring because
I didn't know he had a lantern ring. Hello. Okay.
Dear gosh.
Anyways, okay. I would prefer Cap, but Guile versus Paul would be kind of cool.
Guile versus Paul. I'd dig them.
Yeah, I just want Paul. But that guy's weird.
I'd be down. And plus, Guile really needs to get on, considering.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
I would prefer Cap, but if Cap fights like I don't know Deathstroke or something, I'll take Guile versus Paul as a substitute.
Fair.
Of course, Igus versus Noel, of course. That would be fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
How have we not had BlazBlue in like 6 years?
Who knows? Who knows? Because although I hear that one's debate gets really nutty, so that's going to be fun if that ever happens.
True.
Yeah. Better question: How have we not had? How have we not had Kila in Death Battle? We could have him fight either Sasuke or Akame.
Akame is probably the.
Yeah.
I mean, The ones I hear are either I hear Akame and I hear Black Star from Soul Eater.
Fair. I'm I mean, if it's the thing, but like just in general, I prefer if they did a comment. That one sounds a lot more interesting to me.
Yeah,
Or-
I think it'd be better if they did a comment personally, but whatever.
Or come on, man, you need to do Kratos versus Dante.
Please! Oh my gosh, that would be so freaking cool.
Oh yeah, that one as well. So it's Mr. DBS is
Yeah.
It's a super massive stomp, but Mega Man versus Bomberman would be kind of cool.
I can see that.
I dig that. I dig that.
It's a super stomp, but I don't think they're topping the Mega Man Battle Royale, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, or
I know.
or even better, fucking do Catwoman versus Black Cat.
I mean, it's inevitable,
Oh,
but it
fun.
just sounds so boring.
that's
I
fine.
mean,
I dig it. I would dig it.
it's better.
And Samus versus Master Chief, of course.
Yeah, or hell, bring back Shovel Knight and have him fight Shantae.
I was gonna say that as well.
Yeah, that one's cool. That one's cool, and I'd be down for it. But I have taken a liking to Shantae versus Lilac, personally.
That one's also cool. I don't know. Part of me really wants to see Shovel Knight return, but that's probably because of bias.
Yeah, probably. The Human Z. They didn't title it this, but the Human Z Fighters Royale, Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha. That'd be cool.
Yes.
That one's also cool.
Probably the best matchup for all of them.
Yeah.
Although their individual matchups are literal garbage. I mean, I don't want it, but Luffy versus Mr. Fantastic is there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that, or I don't know, because Luffy's matchup, like, Luffy suffers from bad matchup itis. So, where like all of his matchups are garbage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. At this point, I just take Mr. Fantastic just to get Luffy out of the way. Like, just to give him a death battle at this point.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, it's either that or Luffy fights Naruto. And I don't want Luffy to fight Naruto. Thank you.
Fair.
Speaking of, I posted about this, like, yesterday, but Amy versus Sakura would be neat.
Oh, yes.
Sounds fine. I mean, sure.
I mean, I don't like Sakura's other matchups, so
that is also fair.
Oh wait, how did we not mention this one? We need, seriously, you should have had this on the Death Battle roster this year, but you need to do Black Adam versus Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I like that.
That would be definitely cool. So, yeah.
Or Palpatine versus Xehanort.
Oh yeah. If they do that, then they have to bring Liam and Billy back.
Yes,
because they were so good in that in the DBX. I mean, this isn't. I mean, I'm kind of cheating on this because one of the matchups is Ezio versus the Prince, but I say let's do that, but switch Ezio out for Altair.
Yeah.
How have we not had Assassin's Creed yet? Actually,
that's what I'm saying.
I just thought about that.
Great question. That's a very great question, and I wish.
I mean, they're X-Wing versus R-Wing, but let's up the ante and do Star Fox versus Rogue Squadron. That'd be fun. And yeah, that's pretty much most of the ones I can pick out.
Same.
If I had to pick one, I'd definitely Palpatine versus Xehanort for one. But I also really like Kratos versus Dante. Dante gets splattered, and that's not cool. But I would really like
Kratos back.
I would really like to see that fight happen.
Kratos needs.
Sure.
I imagine he's dead. He just needs to run back. So, and I agree.
I don't know. I feel like Daffy versus Donald really sold me on how wacky that could be. Essentially, if Bugs versus Mickey does well, which it will. you need to do this one because again, these two are the most popular secondary characters to those two icons, and you could have it be a hand-drawn, just a simple hand-drawn fight. Obviously, with Bugs and Mickey, you can do multiple styles, but with this one, you could totally have it be hand-drawn. And also, please get you need to get the voice actors back for that too. You need to get
Yeah, they were good.
They were so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
if
cool.
we
Well, I
do,
guess we're allowed.
I mean, if we do end up doing Mickey versus Bugs, and they have to get, I mean, they'll probably get Keston again for Mickey, because why wouldn't they? He was literally perfect.
Exactly.
But also, they need to bring Caden for Bugs.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Even though Kaden left Rooster Teeth, just bring her back.
Oh, she still does voices, so she'll still do voice. She'll still do voice work for Rooster Teeth. So it's kind of like she's kind of in a Bernie situation.
Okay.
Like she specifically said, like, I'll still voice May in Ruby. So yeah, that's no big deal.
Okay. Well, that's all the ones I can think of.
I was gonna say if I debate like one single one, I'd probably end up going Bendy versus Cuphead. Like I do, like I said, I do kind of want to see Shovel Knight get back, and Shantae should eventually get on the show. But like Cuphead, I don't know. There's a lot of potential you could do with Cuphead versus Bendy, and the DPX already showed that. And just seeing that, but yet upgraded, would be really neat. So
Yeah.
I mean, even though
Especially since
my mind.
Especially since Cuphead has the Netflix show now, you can get him a voice actor.
True, and the Netflix show is really good, by the way. I did end up watching that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm really down for that. So, even though it is kind of completing my heart for Cuphead versus Peacock.
Yeah, because you want
on which
Skullgirls.
match I prefer. On which match I prefer more. Although it does, I kind of want it just to be a battle royale. But I don't know if that's it'll happen. So, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's my choice. Also, just so I know, if Luigi doesn't end up fighting Pac-Man, I'd be fine with Yoshi facing Pac-Man instead. On the subject.
Yeah.
Like I would prefer Luigi, but like if it doesn't end up being Yoshi, that's fine.
Luigi is such Luigi versus Pac-Man is so funny because like you think about it on paper and it's like, wow, that's freaking stupid. But then you really start digging into it and you're like, oh, you know what? This actually kind of works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Plus, Luigi really needs to bring him back. I mean, Yoshi kind of does too, but Yoshi kind of. I would also be down for Yoshi to get ran back, but like I think Luigi needs it more. So
yeah, he does.
And also, just in general,
just don't put him against Tails, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, how have we not have Pac-Man on the show yet? Like, come on. Like
that is an excellent question.
Even like one of the characters that like, how the frick has he not been on the show by now? Like, we've had all the other quote unquote main icons. Like we had Mario, we had Sonic, we had Mega Man.
We had Mario and Sonic twice.
Yeah.
We had. Yeah.
If I had to pick because I know I was struggling between two of them, but if I had to pick absolutely one, I'll probably go with Palpatine versus Xehanort.
That's fair.
I will set aside my Devil May Cry bias for a hot second.
There.
Also, mostly because we need Nero first.
That is also very true.
Like I'm totally down for Dante and Virgil getting runbacks, but do Nero first, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. And that's it.
Yeah. So yeah. So with that said, that's pretty much it, I would say. Hope you guys enjoyed Hercules vs. Wukong. If you didn't, I'm sorry. You guys are looking forward to Boba Fett vs Predator? I know we are.
Yes.
And let us know what matchups from DBX you would like to see get upgraded to official death battles. And I guess vice versa. I don't know. We didn't talk about that, and we're probably not going to. But
yeah, maybe another day. Maybe another day from now. We're tired.
Yeah. Also, get hyped for RTX.
Really?
Yes.
Because that's coming up. I'm not going, but
Neither am I, unfortunately. I wanted to, but I couldn't.
Well, yeah.
maybe next year. I thought about going this year, but I'm like, well, I mean, I just came back from vacation, and I'm going on another one in mid-July, so work probably wouldn't like me very much. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
But yeah.
So.
Also plane tickets and like the state of the world still like it's a mess.
No. Yeah.
Indeed.
I'd rather just wait until next year to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably when I'll probably start considering like going next year.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So get hyped for RTX.
Good luck.
I don't know if they're streaming on like RTTV or something. I really hope they are.
Yeah, but if not, we'll find recordings. Somebody will leak it online.
Yeah, because people are stupid.
Not leak it. Yeah, exactly. It will know about this, so who knows?
Yeah, we'll know.
Maybe
we're not going to talk about it. Like if it's not getting streamed, then we're not talking about it. I'm just going to let you know right now.
Yeah, no. But yeah,
because legal reasons.
Yeah.
Yes, but be safe to those who are going. Bring water, and sunblock.
Please bring water. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, we are experiencing the hottest summer here in Texas, so your ass is better. And also, please bring your COVID cards or proof that you have been vaccinated, because RTX is taking precautions with that. They want you to show proof that you have been vaccinated or that you do not have COVID symptoms.
Yep.
So yes, and of course, shout out to Rolling Mate, Amber, who are going, and so many others. Like, my heart is with y'all. Please be
I
safe
hope you guys
and
have the
fun.
time of your lives.
Oh, they will.
Yep.
And we will. We're excited. We hope that they do stream it. I mean, they did. They streamed it. They streamed it 2 years ago, the Death Battle panel, didn't they?
Yeah, because that was 2020.
No, 2019. I thought it was 2019.
Oh no,
did
no, I don't believe they did.
Okay.
I think they tried to, like, they tried to get, because they did it for 2018, just not through Rooster Teeth. I forget the site. It's good. It's probably long gone now, but I think they tried. I think they tried to do the same thing for 2019, but they couldn't.
Okay.
But they did for 2020 and 2021 because, of course, they did.
Yes. But again,
yeah.
just be safe, and yeah, we will. We look forward to it. We look forward to all the little nooks and crannies and announcements that come from RTX, and we're just looking forward to seeing Boba Fett and Predator fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right then.
So with that said, we're gonna wrap this up. So yeah. So
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.